Starting with the factory core, for first thing, you have all your stock locations for your accessory drive, all your motor mount locations is a direct drop in. And then also there is a class restriction in a lot of the categories of people racing that requires that they use a factory block, and we can match that. On the longer sleeve works well with the stroker motors. When we start going for big displacement, you start creating piston rock at bottom dead center with the factory block where the cylinders are only maybe 5.5 to 5.6 long. We increase that to 5.8 inch where it protrudes down into the cylinder block, giving you a lot more support at the bottom. You will see a lot better longevity, and as well as in the stroker motors, you don't have the oil consumption that you see when they try to use a stock block because of the piston rock. It's all done CNC on our equipment. We actually do all the sleeve machining from blanks of our own, and everything goes through our inspection process in-house. We have what we call a dry sleeve, which basically makes it look like an LS7 block where you still retain all the factory structure, and we replace it with a ductile iron sleeve which has the longer length as well as a thicker wall thickness for allowing the ability for a bigger bore, and you gain the strength of this thicker wall, and the material is approximately 3 to 4 times stronger than the factory cast sleeve. We also offer the super deck, which is where we go in and we machine out a large portion of the upper structure, and we add a truss design that we have a patent on that ties the cylinder block between the cylinders at the Siamese portion, so that any of the torque that's applied to the block is from motor mounts or the internal torque of the motor. It actually stiffens the block and then makes all that stress pass between the cylinders rather than right into the cylinder bore like a factory attachment point. One of the advantages with this truss design is we're able to direct the water flow right up into the Siamese portion of the cylinder, whereas normally on a factory block, that being the high point, all your steam and boil off will collect in that area, so they have steam ports basically drilled into the block and into the cylinder head. And with our design, we force the water flow into the Siamese portion to make a more even cooling system. Okay, on the main caps on our Super Deck blocks, and it's an option on the dry sleeve also, we do use a dowel billet main cap that we manufacture the main caps in-house, so they start from a raw bar stock, and we go in and put solid dowels, which stops a lot of your cap movement and kind of restricts that you see on a normal factory block. One of the nice things that we offer the customers is we offer them a finished product. If you buy just the block from us, we will take your pistons and hone to individual pistons. We mic them, set the clearance for your application. We do cam bearing installation. We do all the line bore, line hone, finished cylinder hone. So basically it's ready to go when you get it. You can clean it up and assemble it. Then on our short block builds, we of course do all the same process, and when we supply it to you, you get the full build sheet, tells you clearances, what parts are in it for future reference, as well as all your balance sheet. They all come with ARP main studs, and on our Super Deck block, we actually will supply the head studs when you do the 1/2 inch option. So you've already got the head studs ready to go, step dowels ready to bolt the heads on. On our block, we have several options. One of them is for bushing the lifter boards. Do bronze bushings for either hydraulic or solid lifters. That is an option. Then another one we offer is where we pin the cam bearings in on this sleeve type bearing to keep them from walking for particularly road race applications. We can, for some of the boosted cars, we can do a forced thrust oiling. We can drill some oil ports to force oil onto that. As most know, when they're building boost on the starting line, it's pretty rough on the thrust bearings. Another option that we do on our high-end cars, where the guys are making some extreme power in 1,500 plus horsepower range, we do O-ringing on our blocks. In that case where people send in their cylinder heads, and we will cut the receiver groove, install the ring in the cylinder head, and supply them with a head gasket which is already preformed to fit. So that is another option, but in the kind of the extreme power cases, we can go from a short block anywhere from the a bare cylinder block machine ready to go to a short block that we can build for your application to a long block. When we bring the block in, we have a complete spec sheet on it. We do all the miking, all the journals. This is all going on the build sheet. Then we take and clean the block. We've got a sonic cleaner for the crank, all the components. So not only do you get the parts washer, but they get a sonic clean. We file fit rings, mic and check all your bearings and document all that. Crank, the rotating assembly gets the full balancing, which you'll include in the sheet. Then file fit the rings, do a complete assembly after everything is cleaned, and we wrap it, WD-4 it, and put it in a bag so crate it to ship it to you. Pretty much it comes ready to go. You unseal the bag and start bolting parts on. So all your plugs and galley plugs are already installed, ready to go.